Hi, this is Ben. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. Today we have an old video that was done in 2012. The quality isn't that good, but the message is still the same. I hope you guys will enjoy this. And anyway, also, this is about how to look at an engine just by listening at the racetrack. And it happened to me many times where I'm pitted doing something on one of my cars or my race car, and somebody beside me is having issues, and then when they get in and try to start it, gives a certain kind of a starting sequence or a starting sound, and I tell them your engine's hurt, and they go, how'd you know our engine's hurt? Well, you got a compression gauge in your brain? No, not really, but I will show you how. I listen to these things and I go, okay, this guy's hurt. Don't go any further. The only exception in this rule is that if it's an absolute engine or cylinder failure, you'll hear this sound. If an engine has something like over 100 psi of cranking pressure, regardless of static compression pressure is 170 or 200 or maybe a little bit more, if it's less than 100 pounds, it will mask off. And an ignition miss, or sometimes when you start sequence, you could hardly tell. But if it's 100 pounds or psi below, yeah, it will show its ugly head, and you know you're done for the day. And I've said that to a lot of people. I think you should go home. They go, well, how do you know? Well, okay, don't believe me then. Then they whip out a compression gauge or a leak down check, and they go, oh, we got a complete hole in number 7 or number 8, whichever one. Okay, and also, before I proceed or we proceed, notice this shirt. This is from Matt and Erica Tucker. They're hardcore racers from Kentucky. He's a veteran, good buddy of mine. I'm involved with his car. Also, they gave me this shirt. And here's one for Carmen, my wife. Look at that. Look how neat that is. All right. Anyway, thank you very much, Matt, Erica. Appreciate, love the shirt, and as well as hello to your dad. Matt's dad, Orville, is a retired SVO engineer. He had stories to tell. I wish I could talk to him more often. With my business schedule, plus my ill health, I would love to have a conversation with him again. And it told me a lot of nice stories you don't never hear come out, because it's within the role of right within the SVO group of engineers. And boy, what an experience. I wish I could have done something like that. But anyway, here you go, guys. Let's move forward with this video. Enjoy. today we're going to show a little videotape on how to check engine compression without a compression gauge. Many times a lot of people say, how did you know that engine was hurt without even hearing it start or whatever? So we will show you pretty quickly how this is done. So this would apply to any race cars or any kind of engines, 4-cylinder, 6 and 8. So here's Toby, here he comes, and we're gonna do it today. He had to warm up the engine. Here is after the engine's warmed up, you can do a quick compression check by disconnecting the coil wire. Just go through here and just ground it. Make sure you ground it so it doesn't zap the system. And what you're going to listen to when I crank it over, you're going to listen to the rhythm. If all the engine compression is even, or fairly even, it'll go wah, 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 wah. Okay, here's what you're going to hear. Okay, so it's very consistent. Now, what I'm going to do here right now is I'm going to take off the valve cover and I'm going to tighten up one of the exhaust valves so it'll lose compression. Just on one cylinder, then we'll be right back. Okay? What I did here was I tightened up the exhaust valve clearance on one cylinder so that when it cranks over, it'll mimic a burned exhaust valve. So basically, one of the cylinders would be down on compression or no compression. So initially, when I started it up, you heard the rhythm, consistent go. Now you're going to hear one cylinder speed up. You'll hear that, and that will tell you it's got a bad compression on one cylinder. So here it goes. Listen carefully. That is clear as day. So you don't have to have a compression gauge to verify that engine. So once a race car goes out the track and comes back and the guy tries to start it and I hear that, it's a very good sign that the compression's down on one side.
I remember that. We were at the track and one of the competitors was starting the car up.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, he's in trouble.
Sure.
And I didn't know this back then. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And you said, he's hurt. His motor's hurt.
Yeah. A lot of people don't realize that, but once you listen to that cranking rhythm, it's a good indication how strong the engine is. In fact, he asked me initially, would this work on a regular passenger car? Sure it does.
Like if you were buying, if you went out to look at a used car, you're out to look at a used car and you don't have a mechanic with you, or your mechanic doesn't have a compression tester with him. That's not something that people carry around with them like they would their wallets.
Right.
So this would be one way of.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of weird if you show up with a wrench in hand and look at a used car and then you tell them, hey, could I take up your spark plugs? I don't think you appreciate that. So all you gotta say is, hey, is there a way I can just pull the coil wire out, or on the ignition module just disconnect that, and then you just disconnect it, then crank it over,
and see what it does.
And see what it does, and just listen to that. If you hear any kind of like, don't even waste your time. Just say, hey, you know what? Thank you. All right. So you save money, you save a lot of headache for yourself. So that's just one way of verifying without doing actual compression. Just starting it over and just listening to how that rhythm goes. Tells you a lot about that engine.
Or getting one huge discount on that price.
Sure. You don't want to buy a used car and then find out you got to replace the engine. So
now, without doing that, if you're just starting it up, everything hooked up, is there a way to find out if it's doing that without just, because it will start up right away. You might not even notice that rhythm.
Right. On a race car, usually they turn a couple of times and then kick over. But on a stock car, it's almost instantaneous. I think some guys in the ignition systems a half a turn, they'll kick over.
So that's the best way.
Yeah.
Without a compression tester, just
disconnect the coil wire or knock off the ignition system, pull the module out,
and spin the motor.
Okay, hope it's clear. See you guys next time.